Yes. So be useful for communication and writing queries to a relational database and a non-relational database. So you can use a Polybase to communicate with Azure Blob Storage, to Azure Data Lake, and to SQL Data Warehouse, SQL Database. So basically, um, Polybase is very key, and it's something that you have to learn to use and implement in your data architecture if you are going to be working with a mixture of both non-related data and related data. So you need to have a good grasp on that, and yeah, that will definitely set you apart. So part of the process is in creating that. Sorry, let me share. Okay, I wasn't sharing my screen. I would have to share my screen. Yeah. Okay. So in creating your or communicating with your data using Polybase to communicate with your data warehouse, when I was setting up my SQL data SQL Server engine, I did not install Polybase. So I had issues running my code here. So first things you need to do when you want to use or have Polybase in your data engine, you have to download, install your SQL Server engine, and you have to select Polybase to be installed. And once it is installed, you can then create your communication line between your data, your external data, and what you have here. All right. So in doing that, you would actually need to create a database master key that you would use to encrypt your credentials that you use to communicate with the external data source.
Sorry,
So,
gents, I'd go to make tea.
oh, okay, you're
I'm
welcome.
back.
All right. Yeah. So the first thing you need to do is you need to encrypt you. What I did here first was to create a data warehouse instance, and this is the way you could do it from your your Azure, your SQL Server Management Studio. So basically, you could see I'm giving the command here from my code to create a data warehouse with this capacity 100 DWC and with a storage size of 1 TB. And yep, so the name here. So Kemi, you're using your name to create resources. Wally started, so please don't blame me. Uh,
Yeah.
so the data the data warehouse here is this is the name. So you can see the instruction here, creating it. That's the first step. Once you've created that data warehouse, now you can also, the next thing for you to do is to create tables. Once you create the database, the data warehouse here, remember I'm logged into it here. I'm logged into the server because every of your SQL database or data warehouse is supposed to be on a server. So you log into the server and you refresh and you could access it here. So I created one. Before, if I refresh this, I hope don't ask me for a new ID. If I refresh, I would have the last one I created with Kemi's name. Yeah. So The next thing to do is to add tables to that instance, to add tables. So yeah, this is it here. Then it comes with default, because when we were creating, we had requested this one, especially when I was creating it, I requested that a sample DB be added. But these ones here that we created, facts table, product table, users table, they were actually created by myself here. I created them, and then I also made some specification, the cluster type and the distribution. And then, so guys, you need to understand what kind of cluster colon store you would use, and then what kind of distribution exists for Azure SQL Data Warehouse tables. So these are things that you would need to understand for your exam and also for your work. Yeah, so the first step was that I created data warehouse. Then I created these tables in the warehouse, the users, the products, and facts table. Then the next step, step 3, was to create a master key on that database, on this database here. And then that database, that master key, on that master key, I will create a database scoped credential. And this credential is actually going to be used to communicate to the Azure Data Lake storage. And so from there, you use that credential to create an external data source. So please, guys, take note of the steps. You might be asked, you might meet questions in this line, your exam. So data warehouse, the tables, and then the master key, then database scoped credentials, and then you configure your external data source, and then this is the configuration here. Create external data source, and then the next thing you do is that you create external file format. You need to specify the format. Is it going to be compressed? What will be the format type, and what will be the format options? There are other options you could add here. And then the next step is for you to create the external table. So here I've been having errors creating this table because I had not installed Polybase here. So, and I've told us the steps to add that. So I couldn't do that because it required me to, I don't have the setup anymore. So I need to download the setup to be able to do that. Yep, guys. So that's what you need to be able to do that. The next thing, you could run select statement once you've created your external data table. If you create that external data table, it will appear here. But right now, I don't have it here because it's failing to create for me. Once it's here, you can query it. So the data that you have on your data lake storage, on your blob storage, you could have them here as part of your data warehouse. And you could query them, you could run your analytics there. So remember, you are using blob storage for unrelated data, non-related data, and even your data lake for maybe your hierarchical namespace files. And here again, you also have the capability to have related data. So you have both of them, non-related and related, here together, and you could query them and work with them at the same time. Yeah, I think this is a good what to call it now, a good tool to use if you are having stream data coming from non-related, having non-related data coming from a source and then having another. So if you have IoT devices bringing in data for you, you can use this. And especially when you want to see how that data connects to the data you have that is related. Yes, guys, any questions so far? Hello, guys.
Nothing.
Well, no, not yet.
Do
Is the
we
lab done?
understand? Yeah?
Sorry?
Do we understand so far?
Yeah. So that at
Okay.
this point, like that's where we've been like yesterday, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we finally found the solution.
Yeah, yeah. I had to
Okay.
spend time to find that solution.
Okay.
Okay, guys. Now to focus for today. I hope I didn't spend too much time on this. And, why? Okay. So the 6, performing real-time analytics with stream analytics. The scenario we have here is a part of the scenarios we've been having before. Does anyone remember why we had made, what requirements they made? What requirement they made that we said one of the ways we are going to resolve it would be to provide them with an Azure Event Hub solution. Does anyone recall?
Sorry, sorry, Daniel. Can you say that again?
Yeah, as part of the scenarios we've had before, what was the data requirement that AdventureWorks had that we recommended Azure Event Hubs stream analytics for them? What was the data requirement?
Data requirement for okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Ayo.
Maybe you wanted to say something.
Yes, you talked about event hub. Like
Yeah.
okay, like a streaming storing data from IoT device like ICU, a device attached an ICU, and then stream analytics will enable them to stream the data
Okay.
to like maybe Power BI stream API for analytics. So event hub can be used to store the data from IoT.
Okay. Thank you, Toby. Anyone else?
Sorry, Jare, move a meeting.
Okay, guys. Yeah. So Azure has 2 stream analytics solution, especially when you have real-time data coming in, and it might vary. It might vary. You probably might have it coming from devices that are not IoT devices. So those kind of analytics coming in, maybe phone calls and all that, the solution you would use for such kind of streaming data would be Azure Event or Event Hubs. So you would have to provide that solution for such kind of stream data. And if you are working with IoT devices that would be sending data over the internet to your endpoint, you would have to set up an Azure IoT Edge or IoT Hub solution for that. So those are the 2 stream analytics solution you have. So in this case, we are focusing rather on the requirements they have here. They want to be able to identify fraudulent calls. Our customers who have been calling to claim identities they don't have. So that means this kind of stream data, we would be providing a particular solution. So does anyone want to tell us which of them we are deploying?
Based on your explanation now,
Yeah.
So it will be event up.
Okay.
Yeah, so thank for their explanation. I think the
All right,
relationship
guys.
between event and IoT.
All right.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay, so we move to the first exercise here, where we are to explain data streams and event processing. And to do that, we've been able to look at the case studies and to identify what the requirements are. And then we would do some basic thing here. So what would you have to deploy? What would you have to deploy on Azure? And what would you have to configure on Azure to provide this solution, or say any stream analytics work? Does anyone want to try?
Sorry,
Or has anyone here worked with stream analytics before, or idea and heard of it?
stream analysis.
Yes, stream analytics, Azure Stream Analytics.
Yeah, I mean,
Me.
Okay. Yep, guys.
Yes, Daniel, I'm here.
All right, so any idea? Stream analytics, Azure Stream Analytics.
Lab 6. I'm just trying to look at the Lab 6 so that I can follow through what we're doing. Lab 6.
All right, so guys, to help us save time, we would, of course, when you are providing a solution around stream analytics, you have to deploy your namespace first. Yeah, so you have to deploy your namespace, and then under that namespace, you deploy an event hub. So you, like for Azure Databricks, you create a workspace. And in this case, you are creating a namespace, and then under your namespace, you create an event hub. Then you configure security, and then you provision a stream analytics job. It's going to be a job. Then you need to specify the input. And then you also define your query. It's more like I'm setting up a database. I'm setting up a SQL database, a SQL Data Warehouse. And inside that SQL Data Warehouse, I need to create a table. And I need to secure that table. And I need to then specify maybe like a queue or a job to be moving data to that table over time. I can do scheduling on it to be moving data to that table over time. And then I need to specify to that job where the data source is, what is going to be the data source, and then what's the query to get data from that data source to that table. And then I also have to specify the stream analytics, the job output. And then lastly, I'll connect an application to that event hub. So please, guys, take note of this step. They are really important for you to note. They are really important for you to note. These are steps and order of doing things. So like I said, time and time again, these are the tips for your exam. you would meet questions that would require you to outline steps for a particular task. Maybe you have a task to set up, to move data to a SQL database. And you need to note if the SQL database has been created or it has not been created. So some questions can be tricky and some are not, they are direct and you just know what exactly they want. And so in answering, you should be able to know the order of task. So here, these are the tasks, and these are the order. You need to create a namespace first, then an event hub, then security, then you set up a job, then you set up this the job input, and then the query, then the job output, and then connect an application to that event hub. Guys, so do we understand?
Yep, I understood.
As for me, I'm kind of a little bit lost. I don't know if you can just.
So Daniel, this is almost like the normal steps you would take to sort of like configure for anything with regards to any analytics for what you call it, media, social media, sentiment analysis, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then if you are going to store, of course, whatever data is coming in would need storage. So you'd also take care of the storage where you're going to move data. But ordinarily, these are your flow. Right, so basically, if we move on to the next portion, that should be exercise 2. We are supposed to create a data ingestion with event hubs. All right, guys, so I've started that process here. So basically, if you want to create an event hub, you have to click on create resource and just search for event hubs. And you select, so I've created one, I might not need to create again. I'm just showing us how to do that. You specify.
So hello? Daniel.
Yeah.
So these are now the steps, huh?
Yes.
Yeah.
This is the step. So I'm creating namespace.
So you search for event hubs.
Event hubs.
Then you create a new event hub. Okay. Then you create a new namespace.
So this is it again.
Because I get things
so
more
click on create
visually than just reading.
So you click on create resource, then event, search for event hubs, select it, and then it gives you this. You click on create. So the first thing it's going to ask you to create is the namespace. When you click on create, you specify the resource group. If you don't have any resource group, you can create a new resource group. And just specify the name. But I already have the one we've been using since the beginning. Then you specify the name. Pick that. Then the region, the pricing tier. In this case, we selected standard.
Standard.
Yeah. Then your throughput. In this case, we used 20. So 20 throughput, more than 20 device or communication at the same time. And then you click on
throughput is almost like how many input output entries can be done.
Yeah. Yes,
Right.
yes. Okay. Then from there we move to okay. So once you create the namespace, the next thing for you to do is to add an event hub. To add an event hub. So here is I'm going to the one I created, source group. Yeah. So this is the event hub's namespace I created. By opening it now, click on it. So this is how I'm going to add a new event hub. Okay, guys. So you click on event hub. Take you here, then you specify the event hub. In this case, we named the event hub as a phone analysis event hub. Phone analysis event hub. So when you specify that, you then you click OK, and then that will take about 10 minutes to create. Oh, sorry, 10 seconds to create. Then once it is done, you can then configure event hub security. So remember what we said. First of all, I have to create namespace. Then you create the event hub. Then you create or you configure security. Okay. Sorry, someone. Right. Okay. All right. So I'm going to do that now for the one I created. I created one earlier. So this is the one I created. So Kemi's name has been on the globe. Okay, so we are to go to shared access policy and then specify this. Sorry, that's the name of the policy. So this is it, shared access policy. I'm going to add, and then I put the name. Then we need to specify what it's able to do here. Select manage alone, then click on OK. Great. So this way we've configured security for the event hub. Sorry. Okay. So from here, once it is done, we can then get the connection string, primary key, and then paste that key in the notepad. So since yesterday, I've been working with a notepad. So I'm just basically going to continue with the notepad. So okay. So here it is, and then yep. So this is the connection string, and then this is the primary key. So we are supposed to save two things here. We are supposed to get the connection string and the primary key. Save. So there's the primary key. It's event hub. And access key. Oh. The primary key. Then the connection string for the primary key. Okay. So now that we have this, we can then hold on. All right, so now to the next exercise, we so we are starting the telecom event generator application. So who was here when I created an app, I registered an app for our data lake? Was there anyone around? Hello, guys.
No.
No,
I was
then.
not there.
No, I wasn't there.
Oh, okay. So we did an app registration so we could be able to write to our data lake storage. Usually what Azure does is that if you want to be able to write data automatically or read data automatically to any of the storage, you need to create an application. And that application will now serve as a user to the storage. The application can use the keys to that storage to query, to get data, to write to that data storage. So we wanted to do that, something like that for the data bricks, or the data lake, sorry. And so we had to create an application. Yeah. And the application we used was a sample AdventureWorks. So what Microsoft did was that they had this sample. Usually, if you are creating it, it's expected to be probably a web app that would be writing data to that storage. So Microsoft provided a hosted web app for this lab that we used to register, and we're sending data to that storage. Yeah, so we did that here. So I'm not sure. I can't tell who was around again. Yeah, I think it was Wale that handled that session. Okay, so the same thing. If you are going to be getting data from a source, you need to specify here. You can also use that application, that the app you registered to communicate when you are using Polybase in your SQL Data Warehouse. You can also use it to communicate with the storage. Yes, guys. So we are supposed to do some configuration. So if you look at the steps we've done step 1, 2, 3. We're supposed to do to provision a stream analytics job now. So these are the next steps we would be taking to finish the lab. Right. So we are to get a file in this folder to send or update the application connection string. We need to get this config file and update the connection string. then before we can run the application. So there's going to be an application that we would run here. Okay, so this data generator. So this one. Then we are, so this is the file. So I'm going to get this file. The way it is here, you just can't get it. Right. So I'm going to create a new notepad. Now I'm going to save it. What's the name of the file now? Okay. SQL Data Gen. So this is meant to go to our lab 6. No files. So cool. And please, if you're doing this, you would need to specify it as it is, because the application that is going to reference this file will be looking for the file with the exact name. And if the name is different, it might not be able to see it. Data gem. .exe.config. And if I'm going to be able to open this file, I would have to use my, yep. Okay. I'll have to use Unicode, sorry. Sorry. And it tends not to recognize some characters. Datagen.exe.config. Okay. Right. Just to be sure. Yep. Okay, guys, we've been able to do that. So now we have to put the element in the config file with the details we have. We have to set this event hub name key to the value of the entity path, the correct connection string, and then also to set the value of this connection string key to the connection string without the entity path value. Okay. So let's open that file. I have this. Oh no. So desktop. Okay. So we're going to open this guy. Yes. VS Code. Okay. So guys, any questions so far? Please let me know if there's anything you don't understand.
I didn't get this last part.
Okay, this part is actually to configure make changes to the config file of an application that would be sending data to our
Also,
event
it's
hub.
almost like you're just inputting your keys.
Yeah, I'm going to do that now.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so if you see the event hub name here is CTO. As is me. Then the connection string. I have to replace this with ours. Sorry, it's Jemmy. Okay. So the endpoint is the shared access key. So I'm going to replicate this. Okay. Yeah, I'm doing this so we can remove what we should remove. See. Okay. So we are supposed to replace it endpoint SB CTO. I'll just be replacing with the key values. First, the name of the namespace. Replacing what again? Replacing shared access key name. Oh, here we didn't. Can we forgot you here? I just say P. Right. Then shared access key. One with postal sign. Okay. Hello, guys. We're following.
Yeah.
Yes, then.
Okay. So we've replaced what we are supposed to replace here. I think our event hub name is different. I just saw that now, but to confirm, we come here. Yep, this is supposed to come here, the namespace. Yep, came here. So that's the name. Okay. Yeah, so I'm saving the file. So we're done with the changes we're supposed to make here. And then we are going to continue now. So we are supposed to run the application. So to run from the command line interface and then run as administrator. Then we are supposed to come here to data generator. Then type this. Let me copy. So let me do CMD. Please let me know if you can't see my screen. CMD. Hello, guys.
We are still on your browser, my guy.
Oh, I've moved from my browser. Well, yeah.
Yeah, now I see you on run as administrator.
Now it's here. Now it's here.
Okay. Yes, please. That's that twice. So I'm supposed to do this. Yeah. Okay. All right. So we are going to the path where I saved this file. This is the path. So to do CD. So we're here. Then in this part, I'm supposed to run this. So let's see what happens here. It's not taking one. Okay. This might not run on my own system. We are supposed to use a VM for this. I'm supposed to use a VM for this. Can I deploy one? Let me create. What a long process. Let me see if I can create VM. I think we have some here. Central compute. All right. This might just take our time. So let's call these analytics. Expecting it. I did not put a character. Where's 2S? Say Windows or no. Where's the size? Story. Oof, this is long enough. Okay, guys. I'm thinking of the time. Time is fast spent, man.
Yeah.
So what we'll do is so basically we'll continue with what so if you run this, if I were to use the VM to run this, ID will have been configured to run this script, and then yeah. So the next thing we are supposed to do is to process data with the stream analytics job, and do that. these are the main tasks that are left. We are to provision the job and then specify the input and output and then the query, and then we are to start it and then also to validate the data that is coming. And for us to do that, we need to create a stream analytics job. So the way to do that is to search for stream, and then it will bring this on Azure. So this is what we are supposed to do. To create resource type stream. So stream analytics job, and then create I hope I'll be able to enter the next lab tonight. So this is the configuration here. To enter this, press the name. Then the next ones would be okay, it's default, and then 3. No dots. Okay, resource group, the same resource group, and then we've been using US Central. And 3. Okay, so while this would be creating, we can move on. The next thing is to specify the input. Once that is done, as that is ongoing, we could look at the next what the next lab is about. Here, up. Okay, the next lab is lab 7, and it's about orchestrating data movement with Azure Data Factory. Yep, so I think we've talked so much about Azure Data Factory in this session. And so guys, what do you think Azure Data Factory is? And in this scenario, why would we be needing Azure Data Factory? Yes, guys.
Hello, Daniel.
Yep. Hello.
Okay, so yeah, Data Factory is about ingesting data from one storage to the other. So it's really used to move data in this data pipeline, data engineering pipeline.
Okay.
So it's not fully storage, it's for movement of data from one storage to the other.
Okay. Okay. All right. Any other contribution, guys? Yes, guys. Hello, guys. Kemi, Nathan, Funani.
No other contribution.
Kemi, I want to hear from you. Yes, Kemi. I think you've been on calls. We've talked about Data Factory.
Yeah, I think for me, it's Data Factory is just it's just an easy way for you to have a platform or a technology which can make you integrate everything that you need in terms of your ETL and your ELT. So they call it in cloud. That is, was it extract, load, and transform? Is it? Or
yeah.
Using code-free environments. So I think it encompasses all of that in one place, integrates all data integration, and then gives you a way to easily construct your ETL processes code-free. Yeah.
Okay. Yes. So, guys, I think that thank you for mentioning the acronym ELT. So, guys, what's the difference between ELT and ETL? Yeah.
You said what?
Yes, please. What's the difference between ETL and ELT?
So ETL is like extract, transform, and load. Where you extract the data, you try to transform it before loading it. But as I think as the data world is evolving, so we spend much of our time in transforming before loading. So the ELT now come from extract, load, and even I think I read about ELTL, extract, load, transform, load. So you will have load your data. So at the point of usage that you query your data, not at the point of coming in. So you won't spend more time on transforming data before loading. So so you only load sorry, you only transform data that you need at the query time. Let me just say it like that, sha. So that's the difference, sha.
Okay. So which one is
Spot
you
on.
moving?
Spot on. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Toby. So guys, which one is you moving your compute to the cloud?
I think
Is ELT.
for me it will be ELT as well.
All right. So basically, you need to know the difference when to move your compute to the cloud and when to do it on-prem, especially when you're working with large data and your systems are not high-end systems that can take that capacity. You don't want your systems crashing. So you could leverage on the compute powers in the cloud and you just move your data to the cloud and then you can process it from there. Are there solutions around you working in your compute? Has anyone done that, computing on your on-prem data from the cloud?
No.
Okay. So basically, scenarios you have would depend, would determine what solutions you would be preferring. So it varies anyway. It varies for each company for different clients. So you just need to know which solution to give them. So Databricks are majorly for data flow and setting what is coming from where and where it is going, where it's going to reside. So setting up that would be it. Yeah, guys. So we are to set up data factory and then so this lab is very long, looks long. We would set up a copy activity, then we also design it, add it to the design, and then so basically the UI of the data factory looks like this. But if time permits us, we would look at it better. So, yeah, stream analytics, where to configure and set select event hub from our subscription. We have one that we've deployed before. So from our subscription, we select this event hub namespace. So you look, basically they are the ones we created, and the policy name we have existing. So this is the existing one. So yep. So every other thing looks the same. The event serial format is going to be coming as JSON. Okay. Primary partition, JSON, encoding. So everything looks fine, and we are going to. So the group names that we saw earlier, remember when we're deploying for the event hub, we specified 20 groups. For standard, you specified 20 groups. For basic, you have just one group. The group there is referring to partition. Okay, partition, and for events or sources that you would have. Yep, so we look great, and we would create, save. So we've successfully added input, then we need to create output to that. So this time around, its output is going to be to a blob storage, and the alias is going to be this. So if you remember when I was deploying, come back here. So this was where I came to select for input, and here you would have output. Here you have query. If you have functions, you could add functions here. So you look at the input. We've not started it. It's not running yet. Remember, we would have to start the job. All right, so output is going to be blob storage. Hope I'm saying well. Yep. Yes, so the same. Yes, so it's already picked by default our data lake storage. And where is it going to save it? Okay, so this time around, we are using our blob storage and not data lake storage. Remember, we created blob earlier, and we also created data lake, but we are using the blob storage, and then we'll use one of the containers we created, phone calls. So blob storage. This is our blob storage, and existing phone calls. Then everything is default. Okay, we don't have to specify hour and time. Okay, so everything is cool. We've now created our. Okay, sorry. Let's set our minimum rows. Let's say 2. 1. Let's set it to 1. And maximum hours. So this hours now refers to the maximum wait time per batch. Okay. So Let's put it to 0, then 1. All right. So we save our output. Yep. I think we are almost done here. Yep. So then we have to define the stream analytics query. Then still under there, remember I showed us where we could add query from, and then we could add this query. I'm not sure we have data in our phone calls. I think we do, yeah? Does anyone remember? We added those files, those containers. Hello, guys. Sorry, it was here. Hello, guys. Hello. Hello, guys.
Huh? Daniel, I can hear you. Network is
Okay.
bad, sorry.
Yeah, I'm hoping everyone is following. Nathan, Funani, Toby.
Yes, Daniel.
Yes, I'm back. I'm back.
Yep.
Right, guys. Please let me
How about
know.
one day?
Just that today I had a lot to digest. Yo.
Huh? What?
I'm saying just that today I had a lot to digest from the first lab. I think it's because I skipped some classes, maybe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to process everything.
I do. Okay. So we've updated the query. This now we'll save the query. So guys, I really hope you understand why we are doing this. Yeah. Hello, guys.
Hello, I'm here. Validate streaming data. Let's connect.
Do we understand why we did this?
The SQL, the validation.
No, the stream analytics, everything we've done so far.
Okay. So a couple of extent. You mentioned about the stream analytics.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh.
Hello.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
You mentioned about the stream analytics for streaming data, for analytics. I mentioned about Inventor Hub and IoT Hub. Though most of the lab I'll need to go through it, but at least I'm still getting some theory from your class and then applying to run the lab myself.
Okay. Great, guys. All right. So we would start the query. We'll start job. All right, guys, so we're starting the stream analytics job. So this guy is supposed to get frame.time as this is supposed to get the data from here. This system.timestamp and the count of everything, all fraudulent calls into our our output, and then it's copying from this source. Then it's putting a timestamp to it. We join from another, from the same source, and then, oh, sorry, from a different source. And then, so basically the code and everything it's supposed to run is this. Once that gets started, see, it's running right now. So the job has started successfully, and then last thing to do is to validate where it is coming. So we can go to our blob storage and check this container, and check this container and confirm that adjacent files appear, and then the size of the column. So this is where we are to go to our blob. Remember, we're writing, we set the blob as the output where the data is going to be stored. So when we check the container, we would be able to see what we just have done. The query that is supposed to come. So it's not created the file yet. Okay. As remember where it was supposed to get data from, we couldn't run the app that was supposed to run. So it's why it didn't get data to create here. So to add to our storage. Okay, so all right, guys, so to the next lab. Normally, the flow of the whole thing is that you create your namespace, then your event hub, then security, then you have to create a job. You specify the job input, the query, the job output, and then you validate the data coming in, and then you start your application, or you connect the application to it. So those are the steps that you would take to deploy an Azure Event Hub solution. Now to Databricks, just a few minutes left. So I have to give us the remaining as assignment. Maybe when we are starting tomorrow, we will just talk briefly about the assignment, and then we move to the conclusion of the sessions. Yep, guys. So here I've stated earlier on, in deploying a data factory solution, you would have to create a data factory resource, and then you add you set up an ingest copy activity, and then you add that copy activity to your designer. So this is your designer, this environment here. You have different tools to select from here and add to your designer. And
Hi, Daniel.
so
This
you
is almost like SSIS on steroids, right?
yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
All right. Yeah, so then the next thing, you need to create an HTTP data set to use as your data source. So if you have an HTTP data source that you could use to be supplying data to your, as you would use it as your ingest, and then it will be getting the data. It's going to be storing it to your endpoint, to where you want it to. So we've shown different architecture under you could use. Has anyone heard of the Delta architecture?
Mm,
No.
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 So you might need to read up about architectures. Well, architectures are just basically how you want to meet data requirements, you want to provide the solution. So needs vary. People want different solutions. So how are you going to meet that need? It might even make you create a custom architecture that suits that need, and it's able to save cost. So first, wherever you want to start from is that you want something that will be cheap, will be very effective. You need to have those two in mind. So it be cheap and then very effective for the clients. They don't want to be saying, "Oh, we can't use this anymore. Please come and stop it. Come and move our data back to our on." And you don't want to be doing an ingest at the end. Okay, guys. So to create a data factory source, same way you search. I guess by now we should be familiar with the marketplace. This is where we come to buy our resources. So data factory. Then you click on create. So this is the house where we are going to couple everything so that data can flow. So the name we are going to use here is okay, no, not this one. Oh, I thought we moved. Okay, so and data factory, and then what am I coming here? I think I should move here. So I'll be deceived. Thank you. So this doesn't take much time to create. Kemi, we might have to call on you to save it. And she did. Yep. Okay. So we have a lot of resources here. I'm putting everything here. After the whole lab, I'm just going to delete them. Yep. So we're not enabling it. Okay, so we look good to go. So once we deploy this, then we can start creating our copy activity for data ingest. And so the things we'll do here is to create that or add a copy activity to designer and then create a new HTTP dataset to use as data source, and then create a new Azure Data Lake Gen 2 sync, and then test the copy activity. So our data lake is going to be our source. No, sorry. It's going to be our output where we are going to be putting the data coming in. So, and again, you could connect with this copy activity. You could connect to an on-prem SQL database. When we get there, we'll see the different data sources. So let's create a copy activity. So here, been deployed. Once we go to resource, we have to go to auto and monitor. It's going to take you to another environment where you would do or create your data flow. This environment. Yeah. So although this is still on Azure Portal, but taking you to another section of Azure Portal. If you've done stuff with Microsoft AI, custom vision.ai, if you've used that tool before, everything is basically on Azure, but just creating a subdomain for that points specifically to those sources. That's what Microsoft does. Yeah. Okay. So here we had to create a new pipeline by clicking on the pencil icon. We'll create a new pipeline here. And we are here. So we're going to name it. What's the description here? Pipeline. No, I came here direct. So, let's leave it pipeline 1. So, we're going to add a copy activity. So, it's is there anyone here who has used Azure Machine Learning Studio?
I've used it once, but it's over a year now.
Does it look familiar? Does it look, does this interface look familiar?
Okay, which interface?
This interface.
Not really familiar, but you know, machine learning still is about drag and drop. Stuff like that. I think, is this also drag and drop?
Yes,
Drag and drop machine.
I just dragged this guy now.
Oh, under activity.
Yeah.
Oh, so this is data factory.
Yes.
Hey, that would be interesting, though. So it's only because if Fulani you laugh at me. Because
So, you know,
you
there
know
is,
that
now you're saying it,
trying
that
to
it's really interesting because you have used machine learning before. So you're not aware that we are in data factory now.
yes. Although I was dozing, so I just opened my eyes and I saw something dragon.
These are where you do your settings. Okay.
Okay.
This general source, you create new. You can search for HTTP. Yeah.
HTTP. This will be nice.
Yeah.
But there's coding part behind.
It depends on what you want to do. It's very dynamic. Yeah. Continue. Then the name.
Huh?
Okay. Right. So I have to select. So to do some other settings here and to specify the following information. So remember our HTTP source is somewhere else, and it's this moviesdb.csv. It's a text delimited file, a delimited text file, a comma precisely. So I'm going to copy this URL. Do we need a username? Okay. Okay, so we are going as anonymous that we can create. Okay, so that's where the file is, and then could also, if you're using pandas, you're bringing in a CSV file, you could also want to specify if the first row is the headers. You could do those kind of tweaking here. Okay, so once we are done, we could so specify the first row is the header, and then from connection or store, and then we can create that source. Then you could see how the data looks from where you're getting it from by doing a preview. So here's the data we're getting. I think this basically movies coming from somewhere. And MongoDB. All right, so the next thing now is to create a new Azure Data Lake storage data sync. That's where we would be moving this data to. So next, we are to click on the sync tab. So once you bring in your copy data activity module to the designer, you have all the settings option below at this at the bottom here. So we've configured source. We are configuring sync now. And if you see this is turned green already, it means the input is here already. We need to configure the output. So this is where we are getting from. So guys, any questions so far?
So far, so good.
Okay. So I'm going to create a new. So we are using Azure Data Lake Storage 2. Remember, this is just blob. And same thing as Azure Blob Storage, but here you could use file system. But this is the latest version of the data lake Azure has. Then delimited, and then we will put the name we specify here. Yes. So I'm going to create a new link service. So remember we created a source service. Now we are creating the link service. And please guys, take note what you need to create after the order when you're deploying the solution. Okay, what was the name we used for data lake storage? This is the name. Okay. All right, I think we are good to go. Then we create. Then the next thing we are to do, then the file itself, we are to enter the file. There's a file we need to get. We need to download this file. Sorry, let me get this file from Andrea. Why? I think we are probably almost done. No way.
Can we? My brain is overloaded, guys.
Is it too much for the night, guys? Please let me know.
I don't know about the other guys, but hey, for me.
Nathan, Kemi, Toby. Hello, guys. Hello, guys. Where are we supposed to get this file? Starter, tab 7. Is Kemi still with us? Okay. Toby. Hello, Toby, are you there? Okay. So we're supposed to get the sample files from this folder. So this is the file. It's loading. Supposed to download this file. So I'm going to save this file in now lab 7 MongoDB Office DB, sorry. So I'm creating a folder lab 7. This is moviesdb.csv. Okay. Let me be sure. Okay. So movies, TV, CSV. So I need to check. Yep. Okay. Hello guys, please let me know if so I'm supposed to get the file that I will just download it from here and add it. Then it's the part we are going to enter is in our container data and then output folder and then the file. Data, then output, and the file will be created here. Small letter. All right, so we create now. This is supposed to work. Output. Yep, and we are done. Yeah, okay. Then the next thing to do is to test the copy activity. So the way to do that, you could click on the debug button at the top of the pipeline canvas, and then it will debug it for us. Then we can also monitor the progress. If we click on output, we would see it here. So we could debug here, running, then could see the outputs here, skewed, It's about to start. Then, well, that is ongoing. So the next thing to do is to transform the data with in data flow. Guys, let me check up with you. So hello guys.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Oh.
I think probably we should take if we will take the remaining as the assignment.
Yeah, for me, I'll probably restart this tomorrow.
Okay.
The whole of it. Lab. Wait, which one was it? Lab 7. When we created, I think step number. Let me see where I got lost. Oh yeah, I think. Actually, I was following. Now that I'm reading the steps, I'm seeing that I was following. So where I last got the was when we uploaded the CSV and we added the path, and then I think you clicked run. I don't know what you I don't remember what you clicked. And then it's supposed
Debug.
to okay, and then it's supposed to queue the item. Right. I think that's where I last got. That's where you stopped, huh?
Yeah, so what I did is to create the source and then the output, and then sync both of them, and then I tested by running in a debug mode, and then usually debug mode outputs give this output, and how long it will take. It gives you a run ID actually. So if you are familiar with Azure Data, Azure ML Studio, you probably would be familiar with the concept of run IDs.
Okay.
Yeah, so basically what is left for us to do now is to transform data. And to do that, we're going to use the mapping data flow.
All right. So this will be our assignment, huh?
Yes.
Okay.
So the way to do that, you would use Azure Databricks.
Okay.
To see how you can map that. You transform before you move it to a SQL Data Warehouse. Okay, so that's where you will. So please, guys, understand the flow here. You have data somewhere that is not on Azure. You've not processed it, you've not cleaned it. Now, when that data, if you are bringing that data to Azure and you want it to be in a pipeline, and data factory is where you would create pipeline, your data pipeline on Azure. And we created a sample data pipeline. So for you to do ingest, you have to add a copy activity. That copy activity is going to copy your data from the on-prem or wherever it is outside Azure to Azure. Okay. So that's like extracting and loading. You've not done transformation. So once you extract or whatever it is, you extract it, you load it using copy activity on Azure. Then the next thing to do is to transform. In this scenario, we copied from a local file, move the local file to Azure Data Lake. That was copy activity. Now from the Azure Data Lake, we are going to transform it, do your manipulation, feature engineering, and then your refined data, you move it to Azure Data Warehouse. So you're already implementing a Lambda architecture as it appears.
Now it all adds up.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, guys, so after adding that, your mapping, once you add your mapping data flow to the design, you would then need to prepare the environment by turning on the flow debug, and then you also add your source. You add your source, and then you also try to do some manipulation around that, just basic transformation, and then the next thing you do is to then move your data to your Azure SQL Data Warehouse, and then you could test and see if it's working, and then I think that's basically it.
Okay.
Yeah. So guys, things to watch out for in the exam. You would be talking about data sync. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You would also be talking about data sync with what data you have on Azure and data on-prem. You would be talking about data migration, bi-directional and transactional. You would basically talk about these things. So hopefully in the next labs, we cover those topics tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah. So guys, please let's try to complete the labs. Then once you're done, when you're through with everything, you could run the pipeline and see if it works. Then remember, we have a SQL Data Warehouse. Once we could check if the data we moved into data lake that was transformed and then moved to our SQL warehouse, we could check if the data has come there by running this query. And then if we can see it is empty, means our pipeline is up and running. I really wish we could do this by ourselves and see how data lake works.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you could connect to your Databricks and then do your manipulations there. For sample works we've done, we had data records of about 72 million records, and we had to move from one SQL storage to another SQL storage on Azure, and we had to create a pipeline for it. And in creating that pipeline, you're trying to pull out insights from the data, and those insights you're getting, you want to store your analytics and reports. You want to save them somewhere, maybe like a fact table. You then want to maybe display them on a web page later and all. So it's really effective if you use this Azure solution. It meets your needs. Yeah. Okay. So guys, please let's finish the lab. And in case there are questions, we could talk about them tomorrow.
Okay.
All right, sounds good, man.
So I've not deleted any of my resource because I think we would need them. We would need them. Not sure how much is remaining. All right, guys. So I would share the dumps with us. I couldn't spare time for it tonight. I will share the dumps with us now.
Okay, that'll be fine, man. Yeah, this was very insightful.
All right, guys. Please, you might help me call your email so I could just send. No, don't worry. Maybe after now, so we could all just go and rest. I'll do it after now. I'll get your emails and send the past question to us. So please, guys, let's try to come early. It's why we couldn't go as further as we should have. It would have been enough to finish the labs today, but we started a bit late, already to 9.
So tomorrow we are going to try to come early.
Yes. So tomorrow we would do lab 8 and 9. Those are the 2 labs left.
That are remaining.
Yeah. We'll be talking about securing Azure data platforms. It's not long, and actually, it's not long. We could finish before we could say Jack.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's been great so far. Thank you so much, guys. You've been there. Yeah.
We are the one to thank.
Yeah, because you've been such a great tutor to us.
Yeah.
Without you guys, there wouldn't have been me either.
Yeah.
It's been wonderful, the contributions and everything. It's been great. So maybe I could leave lab 9 for Kemi.
Okay.
Hello, Kemi.
I think we only remaining 3.
Oh, she's left. I saw her not too long. Yeah, so would anyone volunteer lab 9? It's very short, not long.
Hi, Daniel. I would have volunteered, but my subscription is done.
Okay.
I was maybe if I get my subscription fixed, I can send you a WhatsApp tomorrow and just update you if I'm still going to do it.
All right. Okay. And to be safer, maybe I could ask Wale too, maybe if he could be available.
Yeah, I think
Wale,
just also check with Wale.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, guys, thank you so much. It's really been great so far. And I wish you success. I really hope you've been able to schedule your exams.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine I'm supposed to I forgot to reschedule mine. I'm supposed to reschedule it maybe on the 30th.
Okay. Please,
Yeah.
please try. Please try. It's 5 business days before the actual day. If not, you would have to pay, I think, $10 or so.
Okay. No, I'll do it. I'll do it tomorrow.
All right.
Alright.
Okay.
So I've scheduled mine, and hopefully it might when the time comes.
Alright.
It's really been insightful, guys. It's been insightful.
It's really
Yeah.
been insightful, yeah. Because the labs, because I've also been doing stuff with Pluralsight. I think in the past, that's where I learned how to create it. A data warehouse. That's when I created my SQL, my Synapse,
Okay.
which chowed my subscription. I
Mm.
forgot to turn it off. So yeah, but yeah, a lot of stuff. The NoSQLs, how to work with the Azure Storage API, the Cosmos APIs. That's where I learned most of that stuff. I haven't finished the entire course, but these labs really helped. So
Yeah,
when I'm now going through the courses, it's almost like it's a walkover for me.
yeah, and someone even was asking me for the videos. So I'm going to try as much as possible to make the videos available in the group on LinkedIn, so we could access it.
So
All sessions. I really encourage us to use the sessions. Basically, this covers all. It covers all the topics.
the topics, huh?
Yeah, the lab covered everything.
Yeah.
So with this, it's like a jump start. You could prepare easily for the exam.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's true.
Yeah. All right, guys. So yes, tomorrow then.
All right. Good night, guys.
Good.
Thank you so much. Good night.
Good night.